Well, it's the end of the first week of November, and Keith and I are at our campsite. Local time's about 7:30. Moved everything up from the boat. This area right here in the picture frame will be where I camp set up, hammock. And Keith has elected to bring his tent, and he will camp set up at the base of that large tree on the opposite side of the deadfall. So he'll be safe. In the unlikely event it does fall while we're here, it should fall into that ravine. If it falls toward Keith, that tree will block it. That's a major source of firewood for us. Just hope it doesn't fall towards Keith. You can see the fall colors that we're enjoying. Here's our starter wood pile. It's actually enough for 2 full days. We will, of course, replace all of that plus more. Keith is already busy preparing the start of the campfire. The all-important official start to any camping trip. So what's your fire starter?
Coconut shell and some sawdust, along with a little dryer lint to get it going there, hopefully. We'll see what happens. Maybe.
So I've got cotton ball with petroleum on it.
Yeah, let me get one of those.
Let's do that. Okay, this one is cotton ball with some petroleum on it. And traditionally that's a 6 to 7 minute burn rate. Keith is just adding some cedar twigs. Cedar is a wonderful additive for your initial start because it burns at 2,000 degrees. It starts really nice. Keith, it's official.
We've got a fire. We're camping.
Let the fun begin. I needed to take some film of the depth of the color. This is definitely peak, because while a lot of the leaves are off of the tall trees that are exposed to the heavy wind, the forest inside with the young trees is just absolutely ablaze with color. Coffee's on.
Enjoying the first cup of coffee on this trip.
Here's the layout. Keith's got his tent set up over there. Just beyond Keith is our stack of firewood. We will start working on that here shortly, but we had to enjoy our coffee. Here's our initial food setup supply area. Here's my over gear that's not quite all done yet. And I've improved my house because that's what you do when you're camping. I'll show you the inside in a minute. It's amazing. There's the beautiful forest. Here's my super amazing canoe, Mad River, Freedom. Hang on, I got to show you the seat that we repaired. There's the seat. So it used to be a cane seat, really stiff. That is man-made sinew, and it squishes in because I weaved it loose. Very comfortable. Here's one of the original seats, and you may be able to tell there's a small divot to it from the weights, but still very, very stiff. But beautiful canoe. About a 30-year-old boat. And she magically brought us across. Beautiful lake. So here's my house. It is twice as wide as the last time I set it up. And the difference in the configuration to achieve that is very, very simple. So I added 4.5-foot long sticks. Keith found these for me. And I've got pieces of foam on the ends of the sticks. So I'm using them as spreaders. And it's doubled my square footage. Super cool. I can still close the end in. That end is closed. The end that I'm at right now, I'm going to close. The low temperature on the cold day is supposed to be 27 degrees. I will definitely close the ends in. Normal rigging. I don't have my bedroll in yet. We are camping. It's wonderful. Look at the scenery. So relative to where I'm bunked, there's Keith.
Sail down.
Beautiful colors. Yep, the wind caught it. We'll have to see if we see any signs of other people out here. Nope, just our van so far. Oh, so it actually bends to the right. Yeah, I've actually never walked the trail. I've just done the lake paddling.
Yeah, from the parking lot to the bench is right about 4 miles.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. A little much for a day for me.
Yeah. It is a one-way trip. Unless you live in 14.
We did one time.
Now Keith and I are exploring. We're across the lake from our campground. Came by canoe. And now we're just doing a little hike. So this is that rock cliff. I'll try to put that in the video as we paddled past it. People use this as a campground. There's a hiking trail about a quarter mile from here. You can backpack into here pretty easy. Oh, look at this. Yep, see there's a fire ring made out of local rock. Excellent. And a perfect camp pad for a non-windy, non-stormy right here. This is the table rock, flat rock.
If I'd want to do this when the leaves are wet.
Definitely not. Put a little fire up in there. Protect it from the wind and the rain on that angle. Yep, here's another perspective of the lake. So we're 25 feet below the top of that cliff. We're back at the water's edge. And just another view of it. Oh, that's picture perfect right there. Nice sheltered area from the wind here.
Where the beaver was, I think.
Yes.
I didn't even see that.
Nope, I didn't notice it last time. Keith, I thought we were primitive camping.
This is primitive camping. We found those.
And that's why you bring a utility tool, just in case you happen to find
a non-twist-off cat beer.
Yeah. Purple haze. That's a great find in the woods. So this is a downed cedar tree that I started cutting on last time I was out, and we separated it from the trees that it was leaned up against, and we are working our way through a very, very thick part of it. This is like ironwood because it's dried, so the cut is very, very slow, but this is a 5 to 7 hour burn log. It's going to be amazing. So we'll just take our time with it. And we started a couple hours ago. And we do about 30 minutes at a time.
A little bit. We'll have to cut through. It was the dead dry stuff.
You are so funny. So we're about 80% through. But these logs do not give up until you are 99.5% through them. And then they might snap for you. Beautiful wood though, beautiful.
Well, we're more than halfway on this side. What's it look like over there?
We got about 2.5 inches on that side to do, on this side. So we're about 80% mark.
Okay. We're running out of saw room.
Yes, we are.
On the top part.
Yep. Yeah, it's early in the morning. I got the fire going again. I needed to use a cotton ball with some petroleum jelly on it to reignite it, but I've got some pretty good sized logs on it. As you can hear, it's raining. So I tended the fire for about 45 minutes. Got hungry, so I made a brat. Then it started raining again, so I'm back inside of my tented hammock area. The sticks that I'm using as spreaders, as it was raining in the evening, the material stretches, and so they actually ended up collapsing to the ground, so I had to get up once in the night and reset them, but that was easy enough to do. I needed to relieve my bladder anyway. So this is my morning scene. I may hop back in my rack just to take a quick nap here once I finish my brat. Well, it's still morning, and now it's raining even harder. It's hilarious. So I'm in my rack, relaxing. And I might actually fall asleep with this pitter-patter of the rain. Hope you're enjoying your morning as much as I am. This is hilarious. First morning light. Coffee's on. We got the pot hanging on a branch right over the coals. beautiful sound of percolating coffee over a campfire. It's 10 minutes since the last video shot, and this is the lighting change. It's about 34 to 36 degrees. I think it's closer to 34. Even with my glasses on, I had trouble reading the temperature gauge because it's really small. I have a base layer on, it has a hood. I have a thermal on over that. I have a wool shirt on. I have a wool vest on. And I have my wool cloak on. So I have 5 layers. On the bottoms I got wool socks, hunter thick. My boots, I've got wool thermal underwear on. And then my poly cotton pants. I'm comfortable. I'm not hot, but I'm comfortable. Welcome to morning in the forest. Sun's been up for about 30 minutes. Morning mist. Sounds of primitive camping.
Cooking bacon. All natural nature there.
Well, are your clothes all dry yet from dumping the canoe with us in it?
Almost. I think my underwear's still damp.
Oh well. Water's a chilly thing, isn't it?
It's cold.
Good thing there's a roaring fire. Still drying out my gloves, man. Maria's not going to be happy with you smelling like fish when you get home.
For real.
Well, it is dusk on day 2. The winds have finally slowed down. They were gusting up to 40. The high today here was 42. Projected low is 24. Could get as low as 18. It's going to be a chilly night. We've been staying warm with cutting wood, burning wood, and we paddled the lake twice. We're about ready to get dinner on. The water is heating to a boil. We'll have dehydrated spaghetti, rehydrated, and deer steaks. It'll be a delicious meal. The winds are blowing. They were blowing, gusting up to 40 miles an hour.
sometime in the early morning. It's definitely cold out. It's probably around 20 degrees, maybe 22. I'm snug as a bug. My little hammock set up. Got 2 wool blankets over the top of me. I've got my wool cloak over my feet. It's going to be a chilly day. It's going to be great.
Keith, I can't see you, man.
It's cold.
Just before sunrise. We've been up for about 45 minutes. We got coffee in our bellies. And there is the lake with the start of sunrise. Morning, day 3. Breakfast is done. We've had coffee, eggs, biscuits, bacon, another touch of coffee, and we got the fire up. And yes, you are seeing correctly, there is snow on the ground on the leaves because it snowed last night. It also blew really, really hard last night, gusting up to 40 miles an hour. And the sun is out, and the leaves are still golden. There's our lake. The lake did not have ice on it because it wasn't cold enough long enough. But everything up here had ice on it. That's our way home.